What's up, YouTube? This is Johnny North from Assassinator doing another tier list video, this time of the band Decapitated. I'm gonna see how this goes. So, yeah, gonna start with the first album here, Winds of Creation. And I gotta give them a lot of props. They started off at a really young age, like only 15, like, holy shit. And they were able to crank out as technical of shit as they did. That it is deserving of some merit there, but I honestly cannot say I remember really any tracks from this besides maybe the Slayer cover on there, and honestly, I could do without that one. Um, so yes, it's musically great on its merits, but like, and I give them props for what they were doing at their age. But personally, I'm not gonna go back and listen to it. But yeah, would I recommend it? I'd certainly give it a listen, but it's not something that I want to go back to personally. And that goes into their second album, Nihility or Nihility, however you pronounce that. This is often regarded to be their best one. I definitely would call it a breakthrough album because of how much Spears of Madness became like everybody's favorite simple song. Especially whenever they're trying to learn guitar. Um, how do I feel about it? I think it's fun. I think it's pretty good. I don't I don't really like the pacing of the Napalm Death cover on there. I felt like that was I felt like they were trying to be playing it safe on that one for some reason. Uh, yeah, I mean, I'm fine with it, but I do think that I like it a little bit more than Winds of Creation, though. Yeah, yeah, it's a decent album. It's a decent enough album. I'll be all right with listening to it all the way through, but I definitely don't think it's their best one. I think they do get better from this point. Then we go into the Negation. This one I like a little bit more too. Like I love, like I do feel like the title track, the Negation, is like Spears of Madness Part Two. I don't really care for the Deicide cover as much. I still would rather hear the original once again. Yeah, I never see them doing very well with covers. But yeah, I also do like the guitar tone more on this one too. Yeah, it's a pretty solid album, but it's still not my favorite by any means. I think they're about to hit their creative peak right after this though. Yeah, and the vocals too are pretty. They're good. They're good. They're acceptable. I don't think they're great, but uh, I do think that this is a pretty decent album all around. And then we go into Organic Hallucinosis, and yes, if I thought these were all mid or whatever, this one is definitely top of the line. I absolutely love that album. Um, I think every track on there stands out in its own unique way. I think it's got unique riffs going through the whole thing. I love the production on it. I love the vocal approach, which apparently was a was something that changed in the development style cycle. I ended up learning that whenever watching an interview with Vogue. And it's really a shame that we didn't get to hear more of that vocal style after that tour bus accident that they went through. I felt like if they could have released another album like this, they'd probably be like one of my favorite bands of all time for sure. But you know, I mean, life happened, tragedy happened, and I gotta give it to them for how a lot of these earlier albums were pretty brief, under 35 minutes or so. I don't think anything should go on for too long because I feel like it gets grating after a while, and I think they nail such a perfect mix with keeping things interesting all the way through while also keeping it brief enough. Yeah, if I'm gonna listen to a Decapitated album or recommend one, it's definitely gonna be this one. I think it's their magnum opus. I think it's peak. I cannot say enough good things about this album. This is one of the few albums I will pay a full price for because I actually love it so much. Now here's one that I think is pretty underrated. Carnival's Forever. And this is whenever they bring the newer vocals that they had for the next few albums going along the way too. Rasta. Yeah, there were some gnarly riffs on here, some great drumming, some. I will have to say that it probably takes a little bit to get into with the title track and A View from the Hole. But I mean, like, man, Homo Sum and 404 are just such gnarly riffing. United is probably a perfect song. Uh, and I'd say Silence is a fair way to go out on the album. I'm glad that's not an in between track too. Yeah, I think this album is very underrated, and just for spoilers here, it's not getting any better from here. And this has got to be whenever they fall off hard for me. I feel like this album is so boring and so mid-paced, and yeah, and it goes on for way too long too. Yeah, I mean, why are the songs this fucking long too? What? I don't get it. I do like the intro to Moth Defect, but man, these songs are just so boring and so lacking of steam. Some people wanna say that it. I've heard some people say that this is their favorite album, and I don't get that. I personally don't get that. I do believe in beauty and simplicity, but this is like too oversimplified. I feel like it's not even fun. So yeah, it's at the bottom for me. And then we get into Anti-Cult, and it's more or less the same thing, just a little bit better, I would say. I mean, I can remember like what was it, Earthscar? Yeah, whenever he does get into that solo, and I hear him hitting like the 24th fret or whatever he's got going on with that guitar. I thought that was an interesting utilization of the guitar, but yeah, it's just more boring shit in my opinion. Very mid-paced. Not a good demonstration of what the band could be capable of. And yeah, after that, then they get into their whole uh, controversy with the allegations. Like this band just can't seem to catch a break. And yeah, I'm gonna lead into the next album with that on that note. Cancer Culture's got me very mixed on how I feel about it. I do not like the political direction and or, or the commentary on online comments or social media. I think it just stupid. I hate it. I'm trying to be like modern with it, but I'm gonna say that there were some really creative like riffing ideas in there. I think it's just really held down by the concept, and I think I don't want to say desperate attempts at trying to stay relevant with these guest appearances. Like I think Rob Flynn sounds stupid, and Ginger I feel like doesn't. I don't know. It kind of works, but I'm not crazy about it. Uh, yeah. I mean, I kind of agree with some of the idea behind Suicidal Space Program. Like, try to why try to shoot for the stars when you can barely take care of your own planet? Yeah, I can respect that one, but on Follow and Report, whenever I saw that was one of the lyrics in Cancer Culture, I'm like, what the fuck is this? But yeah, yeah, it definitely would not be my top recommendation. I guess they did some interesting tuning. Yeah, they did some interesting tuning in there because Fogg had been around Rob Flynn, and Machine Head was known for having that weird few cents, like in between half step down versus full step, like quarter step, I guess you could say, tuning. And I'm inspired by that whole idea too. I do that with my tunings in my music. So yeah, I mean, like I said, there's some creative merits with this album. I'm just very conflicted on and polarized, I should say, on what they decided to do with that. What they decided to make work together. So yeah, I feel like this could have been a good rebound album, but there were some things that were holding it back for me. So yeah, like I said, if there's an album I'm gonna recommend from Decapitated, it's gonna be Organic Hallucinosis. Anything from the early catalog is gonna be good. I'd say Carnival is Forever is probably the last album really worth listening to, in my humble opinion. But yeah, that's how I feel about the band. They have influenced my guitar playing style, so also I do also feel an attachment enough to the band to have done a tier list ranking on this. But yeah, got any different opinions?